Good morning and welcome to another episode of When Pigs Fly. I'm Patty. I'm joined by Tracy and Renee. Good morning, ladies.
Morning.
Okay, today we wanted to dive a little deeper into the energy field here for you. And we're going to talk about how each one of us has our own unique frequency. And we're going to talk about different ways that we use to connect with that internal unique frequency. Keep saying the word unique because that's key. We don't get into comparison and we don't wonder what anybody else is doing. And we've got some fun stories to share here. So I'm going to begin by tossing this over to Renee to kind of give a little bit of an explanation that the thinking mind's going to want to hear.
Okay, thank you. The healers have said, there's a lot of change going on, and a lot of people have, these sicknesses, these illnesses, all these different things, and they've been looking outside of their body for that, whatever ability to heal or whatever it is. And what they're saying is we have to really start to recognize and know that every single person has their own unique energy, vibration, frequency within us, and to heal our bodies, to bring forth each and every aspect of our true truth, our true tone, which, they're referring to the voice, our true voice. They're saying 98.9, well, they're flipping between 8 and 6. And so 98, I would say 98.8% of the people are not utilizing their true voice that is on this earth right now. That's a big percentage, holy cow. And like, dang. So, it's that point now of all of the sound healing that's been coming forward. Now, when they're saying sound healing, they're referring to exactly what we spoke of, in one of the prior episodes, putting on music that really resonates with you, that you can feel happy to, that you can feel joy with, or whatever, or just like, oh my God, I just want to belt this out, or I just want to blare it up. When you're listening to that, the music, it is vibrating through the physical form. That is assisting your body in awakening your own personal vibrational tone that is there to bring forth not only a total healing, because they're saying eventually we're going to be able to have this tone that we will either sing or hum or make a tone from, whatever it is, to actually heal our whole body. But the first step of this is allowing our own vocal cords, our own truth, to begin to be spoken within our, not only the throat chakra, because remember, all the chakras are unified as one, and that's the chakras you're not even aware of. They're all unified to allow the unified field of energetic form, to which is like, this huge, like, oneness energy, to come in and awaken the throat, open up the vocal cords, allow your true tone to come forward. And when they're saying tone, they're saying, please be aware, it's not what the human form refers to as a tone. Because, when I, say to some of my clients, okay, we need to start to tone so that your true voice can come forward. And they're always thinking like, okay, I got to make a particular sound. There's all these toning things out there. No, you can hum, you can sing, you can do whatever, or just like open up and just see. Mantras are great. Like the vibration of the mantras, they're saying literally go through the whole body and really assist in wakeness. And they say you'll feel it. You'll feel it move through your body. And if you don't feel it, don't judge it. It might be just that it's a deeper aspect that it's vibrating. But you will notice, if you start to pay attention, you will notice your voice, the tone, and the form, is how they're saying it, the form in which it is spoken will start to shift and start to change. Now, as that shifting and changing, you're reawakening the aspect of you, because number one, they're saying what's happening is you are beginning to be comfortable with you. And this is a huge component. A lot of people look and judge themselves, do all this stuff. But now, this time, this energy, it's about you becoming comfortable with you, becoming very comfortable in your skin, in the way your voice sounds. They're saying if you want to make some vibrational shifts and changes within your energy and within your field, and when they're saying their field, that means your life. Okay, we've always said what we being, myself and the healers have always said, you want to find out what's going on inside your body. Look at your life out here, because it's all a reflection. So you don't like something out here, you're going to go within. So that's, when they're saying, the whole field, you start to shift that. They said, start to just bring that vibration, like have your thought be, okay, I'm here in my throat and I'm opening up my whole body and just hum. Or just do a mantra. The Om mantra is great. I mean, there's tons of them, but the Om mantra is a really good one. So if you just start off, and they're saying, please, when you do it, they're asking you to smile, so that you're starting to bring the joy and the happiness in with it, and you're reprogramming your body like, this isn't work. This is something I need to do. So, if you're doing like that Om smile, like I say, if you can show your teeth, that'd be great too, because then you're bringing a different vibration, a different frequency into everything. And they're saying the vibration, each vibration has its own frequency. And with saying that, I'm going to throw that to Tracy, because we were just talking about that with the individual frequencies and all of that stuff, and how you're navigating that and what's actually happening out now within the body, within the world.
So yes, thank you. A couple of things on that. I started months ago, in the name of everything we're saying, is every day help me to show up and speak my truth, which is, what we're saying, where we want to open this up and we want to start speaking our truth. And if you can really just have that faith and trust and give it over, you'll be amazed. Even in a situation like this, we're not scripted. We just show up and we start speaking, truths and in our integrity, our perspective. But in critical situations, if I'm dealing with someone in the government or in a, doing management situations, it's almost, I don't even have a choice anymore. I can go into a meeting thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to hit these bullet points and I'm going to point this out. And I get knocked right in the, no, we'll be saying this. So, which is awesome, but I ask for it. Bring forth the highest version of myself. Let me speak truth. And sometimes truth can be uncomfortable, because everything's shifting, everything's changing. And sometimes it can't just be like that. It's a little bit of a process, especially as Renee said, our life is a reflection of what's going on inside us. And it's been a journey. It's been a roller coaster, which is cool and awesome, right? We signed up for the excitement show. So I try not to discount on any of it, because none of us want to have challenges or scenarios or situations, or, I know we've spoken it of how we don't want to be like, I did not create that. Well, you did, or you chose to be a part of that creation by design for purpose. So always, honoring that purpose part. So I'm saying all this because I'm really asking and showing up, speaking my truth. But what I've noticed lately, and I'm going to preface this by, sometimes we have these conversations, or I get a lot of downloads or a lot of understandings, and I get a little saucy with the guys. Like, listen, I'm sick of talking about it. You show me. I want real life examples. Don't be telling me all this stuff or showing me all this stuff if I can't see it with my eyes. That's what I'm looking for. I want some real time, real life, examples of it. So what I've noticed lately is that, sorry, my little do not disturb came off, that it's almost as if I am speaking a different language. So if we're all at our unique frequencies, my English vocabulary is energized with my unique frequency. And I can say hot and someone else hears cold. Now, I cannot explain how that is possible, but I've been testing it and it is happening. So I will have a conversation and immediately 5-10 minutes. What'd you get from that? What did you hear? Did you understand what I was saying? And they come back at me with something that was completely not what I was saying. So you could say, well, they misinterpreted, or they weren't, understanding you clearly. But I would attest that is a clear sign of those of us that are choosing to really tap in, to embrace or letting our true selves come out, to work with our frequencies, to work with our tones. It's happening, it's changing, and it's super cool and exciting. And it's also a little like, oh crap, what the hell is happening? And how do we navigate through this? Like, how are we going to start having clear communication when we're speaking different languages? And that's where the roller coaster of fun in life. And I believe that we're all specialists and masters. So that's why we're in this point of awareness. So a lot to say there, but it's happening. So jump on the bandwagon. And, you know, as Patty always says, if you have questions or want to hear more about it, I think it's a very fascinating conversation. And I forgot to mention a super cool thing that is a byproduct or a part of the process is we are healing ourselves. We are changing in our bodies at DNA. And I just see that progressively being more online. So I work with it all the time just to try and hands-on. I actually was kind of doing some tones the other night, you know, just, and why not, even if you don't have a health situation, I want to feel even better. I want to be even more amazing. I even, you know, I'm always like, okay, I want bionic hearing. I want to see even further. Like, you know, play, have fun. As always, play, have fun.
Absolutely. And you might, some might be saying, how do I start? Right? How do I find my tune? And I think step one is bringing yourself into alignment. And there's many different ways. I just started going to this fabulous place that has gong yoga. And it's cool because I can feel the vibration of the gong go through your body. And so anything that there's lots of sound healing. And I think starting with something, sounds are a great way because it is a vibration and you can find a tune and a tone that resonates with you. And that's going to bring you closer. And then if you add an om and add a mantra, make your own. I make my own. I find mantras I like. I put my own background music in it and I go into Canva and layer it on and have my own video and then I'll put some images to it also. So you can layer it and make it your own and make it something that's easy to listen to. There's a Beethoven, I think it's Beethoven's Seventh Symphony, the second movement, has been proven to raise your vibration if you're in fight or flight. And if you look on YouTube, there's a bunch of videos you can search and they have it and people listen to it. So there's proof that that getting yourself into alignment and then from there is where you're going to find it easier to, you know, and practice with, you know, and again, it's not a particular tone. It's okay. Am I speaking my truth? And ask your guides for help with this one. I like Archangel Gabriel for those of you who love your angels. Archangel Gabriel is a great one if you have to communicate something, like say you're going into a meeting or you're going to do a workshop or whatever it may be, or you have to speak about something. Okay, I don't feel prepared. Ask your guides and say, like what Tracy was saying, okay, show me, help me to speak my truth. And yeah, and be prepared. It may may not land as somebody else's truth. That doesn't matter. What matters is that you're authentic to you and practice, because like Renee said, I mean 98%, I was thinking, gosh, I hope none of the three of us are in that percentage. But or if we are, great, because okay, how can we, right, let's make that number go down. But I think all of us are always interested in finding our truth, and it's gonna be uncomfortable. It it it's going to be, has to be uncomfortable, because to shift, to get through this point, you need to change it up. You need to change it up. The reason we're going through all these upgrades, look at the ascension symptoms: ears, nose, and throat. It all has to do with the sound and the tonality that we actually create. And there's a reason that's coming. And, you know, some of you, I don't know if you've noticed in this work, I've noticed different changes even in how my voice sounds. That's normal, because we're all getting finely attuned and recognizing, and ask for alignment. You know, this is where you don't have to do it alone. The thinking mind can't, this is imperceivable to the thinking mind, right?
Yeah.
It's something that does come, it's spirit led. Like Renee, can you talk a little bit more to that? Because I think that'll help.
Yeah, well, first of all, the healers are saying the whole alignment aspect is so many people are living in their life of something's wrong with me, I'm sick, I'm this, I'm that, or whatever. They're searching for things because they're really feeling a little empty inside. They're saying that's the ability to, I need to be heard. So they're saying a lot of illnesses that are coming forward now is really just a recognition of, I want to be heard. And whether you recognize that as you or not, they're saying we all can look in and say to our bodies, do you feel heard? Whether it is you look in the mirror, and you say, do you feel heard? Because we have, like, when I look at the energy point, we've got a lot of different bodies within us. You know, I want to say the energy body, the emotional body, the, physical, the spiritual, like all these things, but there's so many more in there. Like, I don't even know the names for them, but they're all there. And it's this place of like, do you feel heard? And if you get, it's usually a thought, and you're like, no, or you'll just feel down or whatever. And when you're feeling that, know that there's parts of you that don't feel heard. And they're saying that sort of goes into that 98%, but they're looking at the bodies that don't feel heard. They're saying we dropped down to about 68.2% of people in the world don't feel, their bodies aren't aligned because a lot of them don't feel heard. So the same, what you can begin to do is say or think something, you're talking to your bodies, to every aspect of you. You're saying, say or think something like, and when we say that, it's no right words, no wrong words, it's what words are right for you that you're communicating. The intention being, listen, I am your voice now. Because typically if some of the bodies don't feel heard, it's because something happened in our past. To the point of like, I am your voice. You're saying you are their voice, and we're safe now. I will bring forth everything that we need to hear and do. I'm asking that all of us realign now. We realign with all that we are. And that piece, when they're saying we realign with all that we are, they're saying that's the only thing that they would sort of recommend that be the wording to, because we are a piece and a part of everyone and everything. And when we're misaligned, you're not going to, feel, if you say, well, I realign, and you're not saying with all that I am, you can potentially go down the road, maybe a year down or whatever, and find that you're misaligned in some way. But they're saying the more you're doing that, because the world, the earth, the energy, the frequency, everything is shifting and changing on a daily basis. We get, at least 200,000 energetic shifts, if not more. They're saying, because sometimes some days they're saying there's millions of shifts within. So we're continually changing. So the more you're doing that, more you're going to be realigning with all of the shifts and changes that are going on in the world. So they're saying, realign. And they're saying then as you're reshifting and realigning your bodies, you will start to feel and hear, if you're really listening, they're saying you will hear your tone be different, or you will hear, I will hear Patty's tone different. I will hear Tracy's tone different. You hear whoever you're talking to, be like, you sound different. What's going on? Well, you're reawakening. You're bringing your whole body into that new energy, that new frequency. And to talk to Tracy, when you had said, I don't know how we're going to communicate with everybody doing the different frequencies, that's where we're going into the energy. That's where, and Tracy, I think you said this in another episode, where you were talking to somebody and you were being really nice here, but your mind was like, what are you fucking stupid? Like, and they got it. Because that's what we're going to be communicating with, the energy. And, we all talk about this all the time. Energy is the whole thing. That's the piece that's starting to come forward. Really listen and feel. Like when somebody's speaking to you, listen, I'm going to double down on what Tracy said, because it's really important that, what did you take of that? How did you take that? Like, we really have to start communicating more, because we've lost that way of communication where everybody's doing this all day long.
Yeah.
And, and it's that point of, what did you take of that? How did you take that? My husband and I always joke, like, I'll say something, he'll be like, this is what I heard. And it's like, we just like, it's something really ridiculous. And I do the same thing. But that really sometimes is the point. Let's start to double down and make sure that we're being understood, because communication is so key. And they're saying that's what's going to shift and change the world. The more we're willing to communicate with each other and to find out what is it you actually said, or what is it you actually meant by that. And then when they say that, that's awakening that aspect of the energy within that is going to start to shift the human element mind, in addition to waking up your true tone, the true ability to who and what you truthfully are. And I think I sort of lost sight of whatever the question was, so I'm hoping I answered that
You
question.
you totally did, and you pointed out the key is to make yourself whole in that alignment process. Make me whole again, right? And being able to, and again, yeah, and don't be afraid to say, how did you t- give that back to me? How did, or, and you can do that. You can take responsibility too as a listener and say, okay, let me tell you how I received that. So, and this is how, okay, is somebody, are we apples and pears, or are we apples and apples? Right. And so it may seem tedious, but it's worth that effort to see, okay, wait. And then you can see, okay, we're not aligned energetically, and and you can, it really will resolve a lot of, so much miscommunication and judgments, and then, like, I can't believe, I hear this a lot, I can't believe they did this to me, and then you might hear the story and go, oh, I didn't hear anything bad in there. So what the heck, right? So I think start to say, how did you receive what I just said? Like, and or just say, here's what how did you receive it? And ask more questions. Be curious about, you know uh it may be that, and I think sometimes not being heard gets mistaken as, I'm gonna speak louder, and right, and those, I see a lot of people say, oh, I spoke my truth, and I'm like, no, if you were in anger and just blowing up, that's resistance.
Mhm.
It's first get to the truth of who you are, who right, the truth of who you are, coming from the truth of who you really are, and then saying, okay, and from there speaking your truth, and then see how it's landing. And it may not, remember that everybody's in a, we're also all in different timelines too, right? So there's a lot in play going on, there's a lot of energetics, and but you can be responsible in just saying, okay, just have a curiosity and saying, how did you take that, right? And it can be with basic things too. I mean, what Tracy was saying wasn't exaggerating.
Right.
You can make a basic statement like, right, like, I just bought a teddy bear and they heard cotton candy. What? And but it's true, because it's all energy, and what we're really leading towards is, telepathy is real.
Mm-hmm.
Telepathy is absolutely real. There are thousands and thousands of examples where it's worked, and I think that amongst the three of us, it works. We will sometimes come off camera and reconvene and almost say something simultaneously at the same time, because we're in the same energy, focused on the same subject matter. And so, if you think in terms of, oh, let me practice my telepathy, what energy is behind my thought, and that's a great way to start practicing your superpowers. They're there and they're coming online more and more. But it is causing for a lot of cross circuitry in the interim. Tracy.
I just want to bullet point something Renee said, because when she says stuff that excites me to hear, that how many times the energies are shifting in a day, and some days up to 1,000,000. And when she said it, I even know this, but I love to hear it, because to me, that's sometimes 1,000,000 opportunities in one day to change. And that's exciting. And then also to be mindful of trying to be as much as we can in the headspace of good and, a positive direction. And if you are having a little bit of a squirrely day or situation, there's so many opportunities to shift it. And, if didn't quite shift how you wanted, we'll try again. So I love that. I love to know that we are constantly have the ability and availability of change. And I know, trust me, I have gotten this argument with the powers that be many of times. Well, why does it look the same next minute, or the same next day? Or why does show me, show me, show me, but with a realization that, everything happens energetically first. So, right. Seeing it, feeling it, that's actually the end result. We talk about this all the time, but to keep going with that, working on your tone, working on your frequency, the next literal second is another opportunity and availability to make that shift.
I love that. And again, I'm gonna double down on, Patty, what you said, and that whole point of like, see how, as even, the listener, how is that you meant that? This is what I heard. Is this what you meant? And another big thing that, the healers keep bringing in, it is the whole aspect of when you hear stories. Oh my God, can you believe this and this and this happened? There's always, well, sometimes there's four, but they're saying there's always three sides of the story. Their side, and the truth. Because again, we're all coming at it from a different point, different energy, a different frequency. There's, how the different perception of what's going on in the mind. So they're saying, please stop the judgment and taking part and place of, oh, I'm going to take this person's side or that person's side. Again, that's going into the whole energy of the world and how that is causing the disruption within each field of existence within the world as a whole. They're saying, we hear things on the news. They're saying, if you can, please stop paying attention to the things or knowing that there's another side to what we are hearing. The news outlets that are being perceived as truth, they're saying, please just keep yourself open to knowing that this is not the true truth that's going on. People are doing it by their perception and the way they want you to do. Now, the three of us have talked about it. The whole aspect of the mistruths and all of that are starting to break down. So things are really going to come to light. But they're saying, if you look at it from a perspective of, I'm hearing this story and it's making me angry, or, oh my God, can you believe this is it? And now you're going to go talk to other people about it. They're saying, do us a favor. And these are the healers that are like the overall aspect of the world, where they're looking to bring in this energetic shift and change within the entire world in this peaceful harmony of energetic vibration. And they're saying, please do us that favor. And when you hear these things and you're thinking how horrible this is, please just disconnect, disengage from that energy. So you're not bringing it in, you're not carrying that with you. Please do not speak to anybody about it. Or if you feel the need to speak about it, please ask that energy be nullified and or canceled, replaced with the opposite, because you can say it as you're speaking, you can be thinking it, or before you say it, like, hey, I'm going to say the story, please cancel, replace it with the opposite. And know that you will be making that shift and that change in the world to make a better world for the world that you want. What is it you want your world to be? That's the energy that needs to go out. And they're saying in that whole creation and in that whole manifestation, we need to come together as a united field of oneness. So when you're hearing something horrible about somebody, go to that other person and hear the other side of the story if you're going to judge, and then come up with exactly what we do here. We're all giving you our perceptions and what happens, in our life, what we did, or what's working for us or what didn't work for us, whatever it is, so that you can come up with your own thing that works for you. So the healers are saying there is so much energetic disharmony within the world's vibration. Start to bring harmony into that. Start to awaken yourself into a new way of being. And that is what you will see, because eventually the energetic harmony and vibration and frequency will all be the same for everybody. And they're saying, and in that, we're going to lose a lot of people, or they're going to shed their physical form, but they will be on the other side assisting us in the shift and the change. So they're just saying, please be aware and please allow yourself to make the shifts and the change in your own field of existence, your own human field, so that it can shift and change within the world.
Yeah,
that makes sense?
That's 1,000% it makes sense. And think of it that you're listening to the shit show. And that you're calling someone saying, oh, guess what the shit show said. And if somebody does come at you with that, I don't watch the news. I make it clear I don't watch the news. But if somebody comes at me with something and they go, did you hear blah, blah, blah? I go, I send it love.
No.
I send it love. I don't give it. And then if they're perpetuating it, it's like, it's not even, no, you're not coming down this road. I understand that that's a situation you're observing. I'm choosing to create. And again, you go back to that. What am I choosing? What do I want to create instead of that? And then if it's something that does appear right in front of you, send it love.
Yeah.
Send it love. That's your power. So any closing thoughts? That was, really important topic here and this is one that we encourage people to come back. Tracy, go ahead.
I'm just going to spin a little fun. I love watching the news sometimes because it's like a comedy show to me, and that could offend a lot of people, but we all collectively put ourselves in this situation. I laugh my ass off when I watch the news. Because I'm like, are they buying the shit they're selling? And is anyone else? Or awesome, it's all starting to bust apart at the seams. So you can have fun with it too.
Oh, yeah.
To me, I like to see the dismantling. I do. Some people don't like to don't watch the news. That's great. But I like to see the progress that we're making in the world. And it's in the name of, oh my God, we are like literally the Looney Tunes. Like, oh, look, the news is on. It's the Looney Tunes, right? And not to necessarily be disrespectful, but you can also view it that way. Like, yeah, here we go. We're making progress. This is awesome.
Yeah, you
Well, and
look
you're
at it from
not,
that perspective, it's a whole new way. Like,
yeah,
they
yeah,
love, the healers were like, yes, that's the way to
yeah,
look at things,
yeah,
like looking for the progress and looking like, this is hysterical. How can this even be? So
yeah,
that's, if you're gonna watch the news, try and take
yeah.
it from that
But
perspective. It's
you
perfect.
need to have that discipline that Tracy has though
Yes.
in saying that, oh no, I'm not entangling in this. You're not entangling in it, you're not perpetuating it. And that's that's the difference. And that takes your personal practice. If your personal practice is that, oh no, but there was a story about this and this and that, oh, I could deal with all of it except you, it has to be no exceptions. It has to be that, I can watch this and not entangle in it and not be engaged in it. And again, for this is the individual, you've got to look inside and saying, if you think for a second, or maybe that's just not your thing, like if your thing is I'm in creation mode and I'm just going to focus on what I'm creating, then that's good. If that's, oh, I can see progress here, then that's you. Go then get in there, just make sure you're doing it with that same discipline, right? And saying, okay, this is hilarious to me and I can actually see progress in this. But you'll know your own truth and find it, you know, like I said, come back and listen to this again and see what resonates with you and then use that as your guide as to, okay, this is what will work for me, right?
Yep. Pour love into everything.
Yeah, when in doubt, just pour love at all of it and focus on what do you want to create, right? So, well, ladies, thank you for a fabulous discussion and we'll see you next time.